Yeah. Sure. Uh-huh. That's fine. Yes. Yes. Sure. Uh-huh. That's fine. Yes. All right, my friends, what is going down? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. Let me put this on. There we go. All right. Here we go. All right, cool. So welcome, everyone. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic weekend. Let's pop in, jump into this. I've got an exciting training for you guys today, and I'm going to pop right into it here. All right. So many of you are wondering, how do you become a recruiting animal, for lack of better terms. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, we're going to talk about how to become a recruiting machine, and I'm going to give you some very specific, very specific guidance and experience on what I've done, and part of what I've done is I'll make sure I can see myself here. All right, so I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you experience based on my experience as a recruiter, and I believe that this information is going to drastically help you become a better recruiter, right? Because if you want to become a great network marketer, you've got to understand the mechanics of recruiting, and it really is a simple thing. In a lot of what I'm going to teach you, these 8 principles today that I'm going to teach you and share with you are going to give you a roadmap and a game plan to be able to do that. And so, why do I have? Many of you know this, but some of you are coming on here for the very first time. I've used these principles, and I'm going to teach you today and talk to you about to recruit literally over 6,000 people into a primary business over the course of the last probably 4 or 5 years. Okay, 6,000 people. So you think about that for a second. I've recruited into everything from something that cost $25 to something that cost $5,000 to get started, and that's a front end product. And so I'm going to give you my experience on what I've done to be able to do that, and I think that this is going to help you because just because most people recruiting, and especially nowadays, since the internet has come about, most people look at recruiting as it's this thing to where if I drive enough traffic or if I get enough leads, then all of a sudden I'm going to be able to recruit, and that's not okay. So let's go ahead and jump in because we've got quite a bit to cover here. But again, I'm going to give you 8 secrets to sponsor 2 reps per day into your network marketing or direct sales business. First one, okay, is you need to know your target market. Okay, if you don't know who you're selling to, it'll take twice as long to see results, if you see any at all. Okay, these are some questions that I want you to ask yourself. Who will my product services impact the most? What kind of lifestyle do these people live? What's their day-to-day look like? What's important to them? What are their goals? How can I serve them? Okay. So many people say, should I lead with a product? Should I lead with the business opportunity? And oftentimes you can know. See, I believe that common sense is one of the biggest things that's missing in recruiting. People go from being extremely smart in their jobs, and hopefully today I can empower you to be a better just a recruiter, which really what a better recruiter is a recruiter is somebody who's fluid with human beings, right? Because making a sale It's not about having the magical phrase. It's more about being fluid with human beings. So that's the first thing that I want to get you kind of loosened up a little bit, is to become fluid with other human beings, right? To realize that just because you've now started a network marketing business or a direct sales business, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden now you know nothing. Many of the people skills that you've learned can transfer over into your business and make you highly successful. Okay. One of the biggest things that people ask, they say, should I lead with the product? Should I lead with the business? You, in about probably 10 to 15 seconds talking to somebody, can determine whether you should lead with the product or whether you should lead with the business. Are they money motivated or are they health motivated? Let's say you're in a health network marketing company. You can very quickly determine what is going to be the hook that's going to hook somebody. Now, here's one thing that a lot of network marketers, direct sales people don't think about. They think everybody has the same motivation that they do. Here's the problem, though. They don't. A lot of people don't have the same goals that you have. But a lot of people overlook the opportunity to be able to bring somebody in as a customer and get them passionate about the product. And then once they get passionate about the product, then transfer them over to indoctrinating and introducing them to the money-making opportunity. Let me say that one more time, because a lot of people don't catch that. Most people go at every single person as if they're a business opportunity seeker, as if they want to make $1 million. If you poll, and I've done this before, and there's been polls that some of my friends have done, probably total, I've seen over 250,000 people polled. And the number one goal that they had was actually not to make $1 million. It wasn't to make $500,000. It wasn't to make 100,000. It was to make an extra 1,000 a month. So even your typical business opportunity seeker that you think has this goal of making $1 million, they really don't. So for those of you who think that you need this huge story to be confident to talk to people, you're fooling yourself, and you're robbing yourself of that confidence that you could have if you just really took a second or listen to me right now, right? I'm telling you to really understand what people want. What people really want is not actually what you think. So one of the things that has given me the most success in recruiting, in understanding people's psychology, is number one, realizing that their goals are not my goals, 9.9 times out of 10. I'm a big thinker. I'm a big dreamer. I've got big goals. I've got big ambitions financially. Most people, they don't have that same goal, right? Their goals are much different. So what I can do is most of the time, when I'm talking big numbers, when I'm talking big goals, when I'm talking big extravagant, claims, it's actually going right over most people's heads. Okay. The other secret is that I have transitioned more people into leaders by leading with a product. Now, here's the number one catch. You have to make sure that you have a product that actually is marketable. And the reason why this is so powerful is because you will make a lot more money in network marketing if you can identify in your team 2 leaders, right? Because it's all you need to get rich in network marketing. Let me just draw something out for you. All you need to get rich in network marketing, to become extremely wealthy, is if this is you, one on your right, one on your left. I'm going to put an L there for a leader. Now, and why is that? Why is that? Well, because then those people are going to blow out both of your legs, right? And this is a typical comp plan, a binary or something like that. Typically, if you have 2 leaders inside of your team, you can create a similar type. Most comp plans, as much as everybody tries to act like they're different or say that theirs is better than everybody else's, most of them are primarily the same. This is, and it's all because of these 2 leaders. This is the formula to becoming extremely wealthy in this business. Now, what do most people try to do? They try to become recruiting machines, and they try to put everybody front line, right? Everybody goes front line. I want to sponsor 6,000 people like Dave Sharp. The problem with that, okay, and what most people are missing that I want to make sure that you don't miss, is that, yeah, I may have sponsored a lot of people, And a lot of these sponsorships were lower price products, a $25 membership, something like that. They weren't all at a 5K package. But what most people are missing is that I also focused on finding my leaders. Okay. Now, what you'll find with leaders is that the majority of the time, a leader is more so going to respond from a product. Okay, like I was just talking about, finding people who can get passionate about your product. So actually leading with the product. A lot of leaders, those are the people who are influential. Those are the people who can blow up your organization. Those are the people that if you recruit a Dave Sharp or some of these other kind of big players out there, they'll blow out your organization. You can make hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars from them. And they don't just exist in the little niche that you're working in. They exist out in the real world. So actually, the majority of them exist out in the real world. They're your pastor. They're your local business owner. They're your local restaurant owner. Those are I've seen people that have created much bigger results in network marketing who are traditional people who just had a big sphere of influence outside of the kind of, your Facebook friends. And the best way to approach them is actually by leading with the product. So this is a huge breakthrough for most people when I bring them in to start training them, is to get them to realize that you leading with your opportunity most of the time is going to turn off the big leaders. So develop a powerful product story. Okay, develop a powerful product story that you can share with people, that you can hook people by first getting them on the product. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully you guys are tracking with that. Because that one thing right there can be the number one secret to help you create a thriving organization into the future. Okay. Secret number 2. Okay. Set granular goals and personal incentives. Okay. Work for specific rewards. Okay. And what I mean by that is, don't just say, I want financial freedom. Everybody wants financial freedom, right? Instead, get more granular with your goals and say, I want to pay off my student loans in the next 6 months. Give yourself deadlines, right? If you're not motivated by deadlines, if you don't feel some sort of a positive pressure, then you're probably not going to do anything. And it's not anything personal against you. It's just that most likely, if you don't have those deadlines, there's not going to be. Let me put it like this. One of the best ways to get somebody to take action and join your business or sign up right now is to have some sort of a scarcity or an urgency for them to do it. Most people don't get signups because they don't create urgency in people. Hey, listen, okay, maybe one of your tactics can be, hey, listen, I've got somebody else who wants to get started right now. If you get started right now, I'll put them under you. What does that do? It gives somebody a reason to get started right now. Otherwise, everybody will put it off till next week, right? We've all had that. Hey, I got to talk to the mailman, the dog, my wife. We'll get back to you next week. It's like you never hear back from them because they're on to the next thing. Well, the same thing happens with you and I, right? All human beings are motivated by some sort of urgency, get to do something right now, right? So how can you do that? How can you give yourself that gift of, this is the urgency that I'm going to give myself to get started and take action right now, right? Get granular with your goals. Get specific about them. Get specific, get clear, get specific, write them down and give yourself a deadline, give yourself a consequence, and then give yourself a reward, okay? Secret number 3, don't chase your friends and family. Make them chase you. Right? Make them chase you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to chase anybody. I want them to chase me, right? And so how do you do that? Okay. First of all, you have to become magnetic. Okay. You have to become magnetic. This is posture. Okay. One of the biggest things that I do with people is planting seeds. Okay. And what planting seeds means is that essentially I will drop a curiosity-driven fact or testimonial, personal story or story of somebody else. The best thing to do this with is stories. Okay, stories sell in every way, shape, or form, in every medium, on sales videos and sales presentations, in talking one-on-one to people, in talking and selling from stage. Story, story, story. What do I mean by that? How can you use story? Well, find and create your own story. If you know me, you've been following me for any period of time, you know that I'm huge on story, right? Turning my own mess into a message, right? I also love to create product stories. So if I have a product, I want to create a story around that. If I'm going to do a promotion, there's going to be a story around why I'm doing that promotion. Why? Because it has to make sense in somebody's head while I'm doing it. It has to make sense in their head why they would do it, right? And one of the best ways for me to plant seeds and create this sort of magnetic aura about myself is to plant seeds with a story. Okay. And oftentimes what I'll do is I'll use my own story or I'll use somebody else's story. Now, where do you get a story from? Well, you can get a story from going to your company convention. You can get a story from a conference call. You can get a story from a team, like if your team has a Facebook group. You can get a story from talking to somebody. I mean, typically when you're talking to other people in your team or your business, what are you doing? Well, you're sharing stories back and forth. So there's nothing against you using somebody else's story. Okay, there's nothing against you using somebody's story who you don't even know, right? As long as it's true and honest and ethical, use that story. But what I'll do is I'll use that story, okay, and I'll get I'll get people asking me questions and getting interested, okay, in my, what I'm talking about through telling a story. And then what I'll do is, instead of continuing down that path, I'll just stop and start talking about something else, right? And what that will do, well, that will plant a seed in somebody's head. What it also does is it takes it away from them. See, what would most people do? If most people got a little bit of attention about their business or, some interest in their product, they would, continue hammering, and then all of a sudden they transition over into pitch mode, right? Right? They it's like, okay, hey, so this is what happened with Mary. So, the same thing can happen for you. So, let's go ahead and get you started with some of these products. And then everybody's like, oh, awkward. So instead, what I do, because again, a lot of becoming magnetic and becoming a good recruiter is just about basic human skills, is I'll plant those seeds and then I'll change the subject and I'll maintain my posture and I'll take it away from them. Now, one of two things happens. Number one, somebody will reapproach me, maybe kind of pull me off to the side. Maybe they'll call me later. Maybe they'll restart the conversation. And if they do that, then I know that they're really interested. Or maybe if they don't bring it up again, what I'll do is I'll follow up with that person and I'll say, Johnny, when we were hanging out earlier, I started telling that story, and you seemed like you had some questions, but I mean, I kind of changed the subject and we were just all having fun. Yeah, I just wanted to follow up and just make sure that I didn't kind of cut you off or anything, and make sure that I wasn't rude. And let me tell you something. It's magical because you're owning the fact that you are busy and having fun and changing the subject, and you're opening the door because you're following up with them, and it's just you and them at that point. You're opening the door for them to begin to ask you questions, right? And most of the time they will, right? They'll begin to ask you questions. Because of the posture that in the way that you took it away. You create more desire in people when you take things away from them. And then when you come back and say, God, I'm sorry for just interrupting and changing the subject. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't rude. It seemed like you had a question or something, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't rude and I didn't cut you off. And they're going to say, no, you didn't cut me off. I was really interested in that story with Mary. That was amazing how, she had started taking that product and all of a sudden her arthritis went away, right? And then boom, you've got them, right? And it's like, yeah, now you have an entry point to begin having a conversation, right? And to begin asking questions. And it's like, well, what is most important to you? Do you have some sort of an ailment? Are you, and whatever your product is, obviously you have to use language that's, that fits within your product. But now all of a sudden you have an opening to have a conversation. So when you're with a group of people, you're planting seeds through telling stories. Don't try to be a product expert. Don't try to be a scientist, whatever your product is, right? Plant seeds with stories, then take it away, change the subject, and either they'll follow up or you follow up. That's how you become magnetic. Secret number 4, focus on mastering 1 to 2 marketing strategies at a time. Don't try to become, Mr. Instagram, Shinstagram, Twitaholic, live streaming, ebook writing, website developing. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden now you're sitting back doing what? Nothing. Nothing, because you're so overwhelmed, right? Ask yourself when you begin some sort of a new marketing strategy, because in network marketing, right, direct sales, what a lot of people miss is the sales and marketing aspect of that. So it is necessary to learn marketing, and it is necessary to develop your skill sets. But what most people try to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, let me know if you can relate to this, okay? We're in 10 different businesses at a time, trying to do 200 different marketing strategies, and we're not succeeding in any of them, right? Why? Well, because nobody is capable of doing that much. How would you ever expect yourself to become successful and committed and consistent and focused when you have that much on your plate? So you have to begin to remove some stuff off your plate and then take a simple approach to mastering 2 strategies at a time. Ask yourself when you're starting a new strategy, which one of these will create the most impact and which one will resonate the most with my audience, okay? I'm going to give you a third question to ask yourself. What is my most profitable skill set? And I want to step aside here and do a little coaching here, because I think that this will benefit a lot of you who are on. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, and I asked him, what is your most profitable skill? What are you best at? What are you most effective at when it comes to sales and marketing? And he said, well, I'm most effective at verbal communication. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. And I said, well, of all the amount of time that you spend, marketing and selling and building your business, how much of your time are you spending actually doing that? And he was like, well, 10% or less. And I said, well, why? If that's your most profitable skill set, why are you spending your time doing everything except that? So a question that I want you to ask yourself when it comes to mastering something new is not is it shiny, not is it sexy, not is everybody else doing it. Are you good at it? Is it your most profitable skill set? I want you to this is the way that an entrepreneur thinks. And a lot of times we come into this business and we're not really entrepreneurs, right? We come from having jobs. I was too. We come from having jobs. We come from, the traditional, schooling and job system. And it's like, we're not really thinking about this. We're thinking about, okay, the job, this is the details of the job. So I need to learn how to do the job. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur, there's so many different things that you can do. Your time is your own, right? So you have to be the one who makes the tough decisions. Should I be spending my time doing this thing? Should I be spending my time doing this marketing strategy? Is this my most profitable skill set? For me, what's my most profitable skill set? It's actually communicating. Okay, so for me, a lot of people have said, Dave, you're a great copywriter. I am. I can write killer copy. It took me some time to really learn. I can build sales presentations. I can build sales funnels. I can build sales systems. But my most profitable skill set that gives me my biggest impact, that connects with my audience the best, is me talking to them. Just talking to them like we're talking right now, having a conversation like you and me are sitting across from I'm actually at my conference table right now. So sitting across from a conference table, just having a conversation, me speaking to you in a live audience, right? Me speaking to you on a video, me speaking to you on a live stream like I'm doing right now. That's my most profitable skill set. So as often as possible, I'm trying to get out from behind my computer, answering emails, scrolling Facebook, writing copy, so I can be doing what my most profitable skill set is. My most profitable skill set is being on the phone. It is being on the phone because I like to talk to people. That's where I can connect. I feel comfortable there, right? Maybe yours isn't. Maybe yours is writing, but you're trying to shoot videos. Stop trying to do what everybody else is doing and start doing what you're comfortable with. Start doing what you're good at. Start blazing your own path instead of being in training mode and being in herd mode to where you're like going on Snapchat because everybody else is on Snapchat. Okay, I'll tell you an example of something that was true for me here recently. I got on the Snapchat bandwagon and realized that, for me personally, I don't really like Snapchat that much. I don't know if I'm going to do it a whole lot in the future or not. It's super hot right now. Everybody's supposed to be doing it because Gary Vee says everybody should do it. But the truth of the matter is I don't really like it. And I didn't get in this business to do things that I don't like, right? I want to do things that I like. I don't want to be, having a phone and every single time I have a moment in my life be thinking, oh my God, should I have my phone here recorded? I just don't want to live like that, right? I think I can make just as much or more money not doing that stuff, right? Doing stuff like this all the time because I like doing this, right? So ask yourself when you start doing a marketing, when you're like, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to make phone calls, I'm going to do hangouts, I'm going to do videos, I'm going to write copy. Ask yourself, will this create the most impact? Will it resonate with my audience, right? If you have an audience that's, all, at the bottom of the food chain financially, they're most likely not going to be on podcasts, right? Because they probably can't even afford an iPhone or a smartphone. Right? So will it resonate with my audience? Where is my audience at? And then third, is it my most profitable skill? That's a big one right there. Secret number 5, never stop learning. Okay. Never stop learning. I never get to a point to actually this has become true for me. The more that I've learned, the more that I realize I don't know. And that was just something that kind of old guys said around me when I was younger. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds cute, but it's true. Okay. Read daily, listen to audios, listen to podcasts, go back. If you don't have something you want to listen, if you have a mentor, if you follow me, you want to watch my stuff, put the video on in your car on Bluetooth while you're driving and listen to it while you're driving. I try to do a lot of things that people can listen to the audio as if they can't watch the video while they're doing something. Lock the phone, put it in your pocket, listen to it in your headphones while you're doing the dishes, while you're working out. Okay, I have a lot of people who still listen to audios that I did, 3-4 years ago, right? Because they understand the power of putting that. Another reason why I listen to certain things is because, I know that I will adapt those communication skills from a good communicator if I listen to that person talking enough. So if you want to speak like Dave Sharp, if you want to speak like Tony Robbins, if you want to speak like Brendan Burchett, like any of these guys, you want to be like somebody in your company that you look up to, listen to their audios and you'll begin to pick up different, ways that they speak. You want to be a better closer on the phone, or you want to enroll people better, than listen to somebody who does that. Right. Also, last but not least, invest in coaching, right? Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You're your best investment, not your car, not even your kids. Some of you are going to say, hold on a second, Dave, not even my kids. And I've paid for even if my kids don't go to college, their college is paid for, right? I did the prepaid Florida college thing. But even before I did that, I invested a lot of money in myself because I want to make sure that I can be in a position to where I can make money on demand, right? And how do I do that? The best way to do that is to work with somebody who can show me how to do it. It's just prove it, okay? Secret number 6, you can't run from social media, okay? Love it or hate it, it's a necessary evil. So we have to learn how to take advantage of it and create magnetic content. We have to learn how to put ourselves out there. We have to learn how to be ourselves on social media because it is a natural extension of ourselves. Again, though, okay, let me be real clear about what I'm talking about being, understanding and using social media. Use it. Don't let it use you. Make it be your slave, not your master, okay? A lot of people, they are a slave to social media, and they think that just commenting and liking and just being social all day is going to build their business. Not true. Okay? It's just not true, okay? Social media is a tool, and it's a platform that people gather, and if you know how to use it, it it can be wildly profitable for you. Most of the time, though, the way that social media is going to be the most effective for you is to learn how to post on social media, plain and simple. Because people are going to, social media is if in my best explanation of what social media is, it is a way to build a relationship, but it happens over time. It happens from you consistently posting valuable content or inspirational content, giving value to people's lives by posting, something that could be of value to them that they could use, or showing them your thought process, your belief systems, sharing inspirational stories on social media. You don't have to be a great, and you don't even have to do this. Okay. I'm just saying that if you're going to be on social media, let it be your slave, not your master. And if you want to be effective at social media, especially attracting people, becoming magnetic, okay, becoming somebody who people want to join, then use social media as a way to tell your story, right? Take pictures of yourself and your family when you have a cool background, right? If you look on my Facebook page, it's all quotes, it's pictures of me. It's not me pitching, it's me giving value, giving you a glimpse into my life. And then after I, do so many different things that are kind of cool and valuable and people like, then all of a sudden I can post a link, or I can give people an opportunity to go opt into something or join me in something or have a phone call with me. And because I haven't just slammed that down their throat, a lot more people will respond to it that way. Secret number 7, think you can create off the cuff, inconsistent content? Think again, my friend. Consistency is key in everything that you do. I've tried to get around this for so long. I really have. I can't tell you how many times that, I've just been inconsistent with things that I've done over my career. And it never, ever works, right? It is better to be consistent with something that is not that impactful than to be inconsistent with something that's impactful, right? Because over time, the more consistent you are, the more people will get used to hearing you, seeing you, responding to you, and the relationship will be built. On Sunday, and in between Sunday and Monday, every Sunday at home, I take a look at my week. I get out my calendar. I use iCalendar on my iPhone, and I get out my calendar and I look at my entire week. What do I have to do? What do my days look like? I know what to expect. Then on Monday morning, I've got a small little team, just very, very small. And I've got a content calendar. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. If you don't want to think about it, then you can hire somebody for extremely cheap if you want to create content to write your content for you, right? I have somebody who's I'd say a little bit more talented, a little bit more expensive, but you can get somebody off of Fiverr, to come up with bullet points for you to share, to write little posts for you. My best advice is to become consistent with, every day or every other day. This is when you make a Facebook post. If you're going to shoot a video the same time every week, right? The reason why that is because most entrepreneurs, they just want to kind of go with the wind, but life gets in the way. And if you don't schedule what you want to do, if you don't schedule that event, if you don't schedule that phone call, if you don't schedule that blog post, if you don't schedule that video, it doesn't get done. And it's a universal truth that I found in my life over and over again. Respect consistency, right? And use the tools that we've been given it through, some of these. I mean, this phone, you can run your entire life through it. Use it, right? Secret number 8, quitting. Folks, this is the number one thing, I think. And I talked about this the other night on a call that I did for a private call. If you can become somebody who just outlasts people, if you can become somebody who just outlasts people, you can win. Just outlast them. You can win. Most people, they quit before the miracle happens. They quit 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days before the miracle happens. Don't let that be you. As long as you have the willingness to stay in the game, it will happen for you. Most people, almost all of them who are successful, are not successful because they were the smartest, the best looking, they sounded the best, they were the best speakers, they came right into the business with all of this skill set. It was simply because they didn't stop, they didn't quit. No matter what frustrated them, no matter what kind of roadblocks they ran into, no matter what kind of, no matter what kind of hurdles they had to overcome, they just didn't quit. And for so many of us, right, for so many people, our number one problem is that we just don't know how to not quit. We don't know how to not give up. Nobody's either set that example for us, or we haven't developed that mindset to just not quit. You're here for a reason. You're in this business for a reason. You decided to become an entrepreneur for a reason. Nothing should derail you from that. That doesn't mean you can't have a bad day. That doesn't mean you can't have a bad week. That doesn't mean you can't have a bad month. But that doesn't mean that bad week, that bad day, that bad month is allowed, or that you should give it permission to stop you. Quitting, my friends, is the fastest way to fail, right? If you're in this business, it's like Survivor. And you don't even have to outwit, and you don't even have to outplay. You just have, I almost flicked you off there. You just have to outlast. And if you can outlast people, if you can just make a commitment that just, if nothing else works out, that you're just going to outlast everybody else, that you're just going to be the last person standing, that you're just, no matter what, you're going to go to the event, you're going to show up on the call, you're going to keep learning, you're going to keep taking action. If you make a commitment to do that, you can't be stopped in this business. Because for some people, it happens immediately, it happens overnight almost, or it seems like that. It really doesn't. There's usually a lot of failures, a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges leading up to that. But for most people succeed just because they outlasted everybody else. They outlasted everybody else. So think about that next time that you have kind of this thought, is the best option for me to quit, right? And one more thing on that. If you have something that you're focused on, stay focused on it. Focus in what I mean by that is most people screw themselves when they begin trying to change directions, because what happens is now all of a sudden you have to start all over again when you change directions from one thing to the next. And sometimes, a lot of times, we fool ourselves by saying, well, I'm not quitting, I'm just kind of going in a different direction. Yes, you are. Because there's a million ways to make $1 million. I've become a top leader, a top producer in brand new companies, and I've become a top producer and a top leader and will be $1 million earner in 40-year-old companies. Because the vehicle is not always as important as the mentality. Hardly ever is, right? Most people look at most companies that are, older than, 6 months, and they say, oh, market's got to be saturated on that one. So hold on a second. This new thing that just launched, that's the ticket for me. Again, if you've started something, switching directions creates kind of that same just, it's almost like you've got to start all over again. If something's not working for you, know that it's not it, because it's working for other people. It's you. And it's just about learning how to stay the course. It's about learning the things that I talked about on this training. How to become magnetic, how to have posture, how to take things away, how to plant seeds, how to have a conversation, how to be more natural, how to use your most profitable skill set. I mean, the 8 things that I gave you on this training today could be enough to make you $1 million earner if that's your goal. My hope is that you'll use it. My hope is that you'll decide to be you'll decide not to be temporary. You'll decide to be legendary. You'll decide to build a legacy. You'll decide to be in this for more than just the money. because you have a purpose, a passion, a reason why you decided to do this in the first place, and that you don't forget that. Okay. So got a couple of bonuses here for you guys. If you have not, okay, in the little download below, there's a link to the simple sign up system. This is a free marketing course that I've created for you. It's going to sell it for $297. I've created all of the videos for you. I've made a fast start coaching call available to you. I've got templates, scripts, everything that you need to build your business online, or at least begin to generate leads. I've got a lead generation strategy in there that's free that you can use that will blow your mind. Everything you need to be able to build your business online without being experienced or without chasing people is inside of that simple sign up system. Again, there's no pitch. There's nothing for sale in it. It's just 5 videos of pure content with some downloads, some scripts, and you can even take advantage of a fast start call. So go subscribe to that. Go through the training. I know it'll really, really make a difference in your life. Also, get on my text message list if you're not already on it. Okay, if you're not on my text message list, what you can do now, and you can text the letters VIP to the number 31996. Again, text VIP to 31996. Okay. All of this stuff that I have for you is completely free. Okay. There's nobody else out there that will give you this much value for nothing. Most people will charge you a lot more for a lot less. So take advantage of this while I'm doing these free trainings. I've got this free course at simplesignupsystem.com, and make sure that you are subscribed for the VIP Insider text message updates by text messaging the word VIP to 31996. Let's go get it, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.